recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment today would prohibit further waste of federal funds from being used to enforce the unnecessary listing of the lesser prairie chicken as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act. Now, this listing has Americans crying foul in Kansas and all across the country over the burden it places on farmers, ranchers, and agriculture producers. This misguided listing comes at a time when the lesser prairie chicken is actually becoming the greater prairie chicken, in some respects, gaining in population significantly each of the last several years. Less than 1 week ago, a new population count for the lesser prairie chicken was released, and it shows a 25% increase in the species population over the last year. That follows a 20% increase from the year before. What's to account for all this? Is it the listing on the endangered species list? No. These population increases, according to experts, are attributed to improved habitat conditions as a result of increased rainfall to an area that had previously been experiencing one of the worst droughts since the infamous Dust Bowl. Now, not a single drop of this rainfall can be attributed to the central planters in Washington, D.C., nor can this listing have any effect on making it rain in places like Kansas. We need to let state and local municipalities and states work together to create these conservation plans to help produce the populations we need for the lesser prairie chicken. In fact, 5 states with habitat areas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado, already have a locally driven, area-wide plan in place known as the Lesser Prairie Chicken Range-Wide Conservation Plan. It has broad stakeholder support to conserve and replenish the lesser prairie chicken population. Now, we have an opportunity today as Democrats and Republicans to flock together, to break out of our shells, to work with states and localities and delist the lesser prairie chicken. Keeping it in place makes it harder on hardworking farmers to grow crops and feed our nation, and it makes it harder for energy producers to produce renewable or traditional energy. All of that, it increases at the grocery store or at the pump for average, everyday working Americans. This cost of the listing is having little to no impact. This is while the cost listings have little to no impact on the ever-growing population. That growth is coming from states and localities working hand in hand with farmers and producers. Yet, as these ineffective federal burdens go up, so does the cost of doing business in America. Now that is truly something to crow about. Let's work together. Let's let states recoup and conserve and grow the lesser prairie chicken populations, and let's pass this amendment. And I reserve the balance of my